Hi, thanks for joining me. So today I want to do a pickups video. This is a little bit early because of the holidays. I'm going to be busy, so I wanted to do something a little ahead of time. And also I have a ton of games that I picked up here, so I'll talk about those a little bit more later. For starters, just a couple quick announcements. It's all good stuff. One is a shout out to Orekan. You know that I did a trade with him a little while back. I did a video on that, and I think I forgot to mention completely in my last pickups video that he sent me something else. You know, he was like, oh man, you know, is there anything else that I have that you want? And I had mentioned that I'm interested in the Galaxy Angel games, and he sent me Galaxy Angel 2, and I don't remember what the subtitle is here. I apologize. I'll have to put it up here so you guys can see it. But this is, you know, just another sort of adventure, visual novel, digital comic style game in the Galaxy Angel universe. And I really want to get all of these that came out on the PlayStation 2, just because they seem cool, and I kind of like Galaxy Angel. So so thank you very much, so much for that. Again, you know, you really didn't need to do that, and I really appreciate you sending that to me. So next up, another shout out. I think I've mentioned these guys before, but Toasty, they reached out to me a little while ago. This is Chris Pico, I believe, and I apologize, I don't remember your name, the other person that co-hosts, but these two guys, they do these kind of like little segments, and they interview people and just kind of talk about geeky stuff, and it's fun. And they reached out to me for a little segment on like anime that I would recommend to somebody who's kind of getting back into it and wants to know some more modern stuff in the past couple of years that's come out that they'd like to check out. So check that video out. I'll go ahead and put a link here so you guys can see. If you haven't seen, you know, my segment on Toasty, I recommend that you check that out and check out those videos, see if that's something that you'd like. So thanks again, you know, guys, for reaching out to me about that. I appreciate that. And I think I owe you guys a message too, so I'll respond to you here pretty soon. But next up is this is something that I don't like to talk about a lot, I guess, which is my subs. I just feel self-conscious, kind of, where I'm like, well, you know, maybe they will disappear if I mention them or something. But you know, it seems like my subscriptions picked up for a little while there, in particular, and I pretty much hit 900 subscribers. So thank you, you know, for subscribing to my channel. I'm just honored that you know, people you know, are expecting, you know, additional content from me that they're interested in seeing. So yeah, you know, just thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you know, I hope that you'll keep watching my videos. People frequently like to do something, you know, for milestones like that, and it's not 1,000, but I feel like 900 is a lot, and I wanted to just mention it. And I'd like to announce a Q&A video. This is not the kind of thing I would have really considered doing in the past, but I've seen you know, 2 or 3 people that I follow do them, and I've liked them because it's allowed me to get to know them more as people, and all that's done is made me kind of like them more. So you know, I guess I want to give people that opportunity to get to know me a little bit better. So what I want to do is, in this video, ask your questions in the comments. You know, it's just going to be open Q&A. Just ask me whatever you want. I will answer anything that's you know, reasonable. And I'm going to do that in a follow-up video. So hopefully that's going to be around Christmas. It might be after. It might be, you know, on. I don't really know. But you know, it'll be about a week anyway to collect questions. So yeah, so please do that. And I'm gonna add something to this, but I'm gonna put it at the end of the video, so be waiting for that and check that out. A little extra to this Q&A thing, I guess, to follow up next time. So let's get to the stuff here after 4 and almost 5 minutes that you guys want to see. So video games, I ended up picking up like I said, quite a stack of things here. But I did something I don't do that often, which is I traded some stuff in. I don't think it's anything anyone on this channel would think is of any consequence, but things I had kicking around, and I was able to trade them in and put them towards some other stuff. You guys might remember that I've been, playing more arcadey style games, so there's some of that stuff in here. But I think, maybe it's the 20th anniversary of the PlayStation that's just got me thinking about PS1 games, so I ended up picking up a bunch. The first one I got here is snowboarding. Ooh. The explanation on this, I won't go on about it a whole lot, but here are this A1 Games. It seems to me that they brought out a lot of the games that were part of the Simple series in Japan. Now, I have this weird fascination, maybe it's just some tendency for me to like bad games, but I call them bad. There's something I really like about the Simple series. And maybe this is just a way for me to experience more of that and kind of figure out what it is about that really gets me excited. But I like how straightforward they are, or like non-pretentious they are, and really how typically fun they are. Normally they just get down to like the real basics of a game, and they're usually pretty cool. So, this was originally I'm pretty sure one of the Simple series. Maybe I'll look up what it is just so I don't screw it up. But I checked this out. Out of all, I've got a few more of them in here. This one was a little bare bones for me. I definitely, I liked snowboarding games that I played back in the day. This stuff was new at one point. The whole snowboarding sequence in Final Fantasy VII, I really loved playing. SSX series I played. I probably played some other snowboarding games. Heck, I played one on the Jaguar. And I liked them. So this was kind of fun to go through. I still don't really know the moves and stuff like that. And it's not like kind of quirky with like anime style and stuff, but it's more just like you choose some people and you ski down a slope. But I'm looking forward to checking it out some more. Next up, another really plain-seeming game, boxing. This is another one from the Simple series, and this was pretty fun. This looks, this is completely genericized for a Western audience, but if you look at the game, it's actually, it's kind of a fun, quirky, kind of cutesy boxing game. And man, this is probably the first time I've played. Maybe not the first time I've played. I'm thinking more wrestling games. I guess I just haven't played a lot of boxing games, but I found this to be really accessible. I started playing with one of the characters, and I got the flow of combat. I actually did pretty well, so it was fun. I had fun with this. And it helps that these games are, cheap right now, and I basically traded stuff in and got them for almost free. But another kind of budget wonky title here that I picked up is Sorcerers Maze, and this really doesn't have anything to do with mazes or even sorcerers, probably. It's basically a version of Breakout, I guess. And I used to play one of these a whole bunch in the computer lab, where when I was monitoring the computer lab in college, which I did for a job for a while. And it was fun, and I played a bunch of this just recently, and I really enjoyed it. At first I was like, well, it's a little more precise controlling that with a mouse. I hate to say that because I love console gaming, but I started to really get into this when I realized that the power-ups in this are pretty cool. They're different than some of the ones that I was used to. They behave a little differently, and they actually make some of the levels like a little more, strategic. I just thought it was fun. I really had fun playing this game. So I think if you know what this is, and especially if you get it for a good price, I have found a lot of enjoyment in that. Next up is one I just got, so I haven't had a chance to check it out, but that is Buster Brothers Collection. This is another arcade game collection. Arcade perfect graphics and gameplay. 300 levels of power-ups and puzzles. This has Buster Buddies, Super Buster Brothers, and Buster Brothers. So, really, I don't know a lot about these. This is from Capcom. But I've been wanting to get just kind of like the arcade ports that are available on PS1, and this was one of them. Next up is, this is an interesting one, Eternal Eyes. Now, I think I kind of just got this one because the place I traded some stuff into had it, but it looks cool. I like, some of these quirky, like, lesser known, RPGs and stuff, on the PlayStation 1. It reminds me of, Master of Monsters, which I have, which, is totally cool. I haven't really played much of it, but that's a strategy RPG, and, so is this, I believe. But it seems to have sort of a character collection aspect to it too. I guess I don't know a whole lot about this ultimately, but I did check out the beginning, sort of the game. It's like 3D with 2D sprites, and it looks really nice. It's very charming, and I don't know who made this in particular, but another Japanese developed RPG that I just think looks cool. For a pretty reasonable price. I'm glad I picked that up. Want to check it out some more. Next up, we have a game that was definitely inspired by my sheer love of Camel Tree. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I really liked that. I got Turnabout. And I played some of this. This is really cool. I liked this. But it's more of a puzzle game in what I think of as kind of the more traditional puzzle game, in that it's not quite like something that's infinitely replayable, such as Tetris, or anyway, this isn't really like your typical like versus puzzle game where you kind of have a different experience every time. This one really has these set puzzles that you go through. So like one little board is its own little logic puzzle that you have to work out. And I liked this. I like how you sort of rotate the board and move these balls around, and you're basically trying to like connect them together. But it gets increasingly more complicated, and as they add in kind of mechanics and complexity to the boards. But it does seem a little like you're just going to go through it once and that's it. There's not a whole lot of replay value in this, so that's a little too bad. I was hoping to have something more, I don't know, with a little more randomness and replayability to it. But I'm definitely glad I picked that up, because it seems like a cool little game. The next one I got is Crossroad Crisis. This is another one of these kind of budget games from, I guess this is A1 and Age Tech. But this I didn't play. I started it. It's one of those ones where you have little tile sections, and you've got like a little guy that's walking along them, and then you have to like turn them and arrange them so the guy doesn't fall off the board. I found this to be way too high pressure for me. I mean, some of these other games are kind of there's pressure to them, but it doesn't feel like stifling. This was too much for me. I don't know if I'm going to play that very much, but we'll see. Next up, I picked up Quicks Neo. This is Quicks, and I didn't remember what this was until I looked up, videos about it and stuff. But it's basically that one where you have a cursor along the edge of a picture, essentially, and you're trying to like just eat out bits of the picture until you sort of clear the whole board without getting hit by like something that's wiggling around in the board. But this one is pretty cool, I guess. I don't know, it was challenging. I found it to be really quite a challenge, and those sort of games I think are kind of fun, so I thought that was a pretty cool little one to pick up. Next up, you guys may remember from my last video where I talked about games that I beat recently, I picked up Star Sweep. One of the puzzle games from A1 here, and I loved this game. This was really cool. It took some getting into. I definitely had to give this a real chance and get my head around the puzzle style gameplay, but I really liked this, and I will come back to playing that quite a bit, I think. Very, very cool puzzle game there. Next up is a shooter style one. This is Starfighter Sandvane, I guess. And this one is really unique. This was covered on Bullet Heaven, I believe, and it's an interesting, intriguing game. I just played a little bit of it, and I don't think I've quite caught the bug yet. I may not, I don't know, but I didn't dislike what I played of it. You essentially go through and you clear these like small boards. So each one you clear, there's there's basically like a boss here in the middle,
And so if you started off here, you know, you could go here, and then you could go here or here, and then you clear this one, you can go here or here or here or here, you know. And you're pretty much trying to clear them out, and each time you're just fighting a few enemies on the boards. I mean, it's like a little board, and you run around and shoot the enemies. But it's sort of like how fast you can clear these and build up your power-ups, so then you can fight the bosses and clear those and kind of like get through these, like a whole bunch of these mini stages in like this kind of shooter-ish game. It's unique. It's really unique and intriguing, and I'm really glad that I picked this up. This is it's a really quirky, interesting game that I think you know, you guys should definitely check out if you haven't. And next is another shooter, Space Shot. Now, this is one of those sort of bad games that that I can find really charming sometimes, I think. Unfortunately, there's a story to this, which I think is ambitious, and kudos to them for trying to do this, but it's basically like a really competent side-scrolling shooter with some interesting mechanics to it that is interspersed with these little bits of story that they really fall flat. I mean, the whole thing is like, you have these like 3 pilots that have been tasked with taking out, you know, X number of enemy bases by their military commander or mercenary group or something like that, and they try to sort of like let the whole thing ride on their quirky personalities and their you know, snappy dialogue back and forth to each other, and it's so bad. I want this to be one of those things where it's like, it's so bad it's good, but it's just kind of bad. But that's not to take away from the gameplay at all, because like I think the shooter itself is pretty cool, actually. You know, I'm having a lot of fun checking out this kind of game on the PS1, and just sort of finding out that, like, you know, it's a pretty fun shooter. I want to play some more of it, but I definitely recommend you guys take a look. Still on PlayStation 1 games here. This is going to be a long video. This is Double Shooting. I wanted to get this because I was playing more of Layer Section, aka Galactic Attack, aka whatever it was called in Europe, on the Saturn, and I just love that game. I don't really love the gameplay to it, but the music and the graphics and everything about it, the whole atmosphere is spectacular, and I love the mechanic of locking onto stuff in the background and shooting it. It's great. So I really want to get through it. I just hate how memorization based it is. So these are the follow-ups to that, and you guys may recognize these because Working Designs released at least one of these here, Ray Storm and Ray Crisis. But you can get them, you know, pretty affordably on a 2-pack here, in the Simple series, which I really enjoy. Simple 1500. This is volume 75. So I'm wondering if I like the Simple series enough to try to collect them all, which I'm going to count, I think, some of the US releases that I have towards that, but I don't know if I am brave enough or if I really like them enough to do that. But anyway, I'm really glad to have that one. And I have another one coming up here, but first, Taito Legends 2. I think it's clear to you guys that I picked this up if you saw my Games I Beat video. I played a whole bunch of the games on here and really had fun with them. So check that video out if you haven't. There's a ton. There's like, I think this says over 35 games, and a lot of good stuff in here. It definitely, as far as I'm concerned, gets better once you get into the 90s. You know, some of the 80s stuff is a little more hit or miss for me, but still just so many good things on here. It's really had a lot of fun with it. And this is another double shooting pack in the Simple series. This is Simple 2000, so this probably cost 2,000 yen, like about 20 bucks when it came out. Volume 37. This is the shooting. It's like a 2D and a 3D shooter, and they're both in the same series. I believe it's Xianryu here, and then Xianryu Explosion. And I mentioned before these were Steel Dragon and Steel Dragon EX in Europe. So you guys got a copy, I believe, of this disc. I think it had both of the games on here. In the US, of course, we never got it. We just don't get the love with that kind of stuff. I don't know. We need to shape up here. Come on, guys. Let's get this together. next up is some PSP stuff. Like I said in a video a while back, now is the time to get PSP stuff if you guys want it. It's bottomed out as much as it's ever going to. So when I traded in some stuff, I was like, you know, I wanna stock up a little bit. So I grabbed Fantasy Golf Panya. This is something that I completely overlooked when it first came out. I mean, I noticed it, and I think I just had no interest in it because, you know, I was suffering from series fatigue for the most part, and I wish companies would take this into account more. Maybe it doesn't pay for them to do that, and maybe that's why things are the way they are. But you know, I think just having like a new Hot Shots Golf on each system, and it was almost annualized. It kind of was too much for me. And I mean, this obviously is like a different take on it. It's sort of like got fantasy, you know, trappings to it. It's just more like fun, quirky characters and environments and stuff. And I like golf games. This just wasn't what I was looking for when this was first released. But now I'm kind of like, you know, why didn't I get this? I like golf games, and this seems really, really quirky and cool. So really glad to pick that up. You know, again, I don't like trying to say these French-ish things, but Joan d'Arc, this is Joan of Arc, as we Yanks would say it, and it's a strategy strategy RPG game. Interestingly enough, I had somebody at GameStop recommend this game to me when I was picking up some other PSP games one time. So, you know, I don't know, it almost feels like a stereotype to me that all these the GameStop employees now, I really feel like they like look, you know, their nose down at you when you're buying, like, I don't know, any sort of interesting looking Japanese game or JRPG or anything these days. So that person, though, definitely, you know, they knew what they were talking about when they saw what I was getting. So anyway, that looks like a cool game, and I've wanted to check it out for quite a while. I don't know when I'll get around to playing some of these, but like I said, this is the time to get them. So the next one I went for is in the Metal Gear series, and I still need to catch up on Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 and 4. But before it gets too long here, I wanted to get Metal Gear Solid digital graphic novel. And as far as I know, this may actually summarize some of the events from those games. I'm not really sure. I'll have to read up on it. This might be something that I could play without having played, you know, some of the other games. I'm not sure. So I'm really curious. It's a full-on, it's just like a visual novel, sort of graphic novel style. You've got the word bubbles. It's like a comic, digital comic. I think it's amazing that this even came out here. So yeah, I think if I had known that this had come out here when it first came out, I might have been interested in it. So I was really excited to find that. And last up for PSP stuff here. I could be wrong. I feel like X-Corn Muffin X has maybe talked about this series before, but it may just be something that seems like the kind of thing that he would be interested in. But it's Kenka Bancho, Badass Rumble. And, you know, another one of those things where I'm just like, you know, I should just get this while I can. It looks like a fun, quirky, you know, Japanese, maybe beat 'em up with RPG elements to it. 7 days, so many ways. Your Bancho, your way. Get all buddy Bancho. Okay. Anyway, it's a beat 'em up game, and it looks really cool. So I'm glad I picked that one up too. Next up, you guys might remember that I picked up that flight stick for the Xbox 360. That was for Ace Combat 6. Fires of Liberation, so I picked that up for the 360. Really want to check that out and see how that is. I also don't think I talked about this yet, but I grabbed Product Diva F second. I couldn't pass this up after enjoying Product Diva F so much. And this one I have enjoyed as well also. I did pick this up on the Vita because I just wanted to see, you know, what it was like, just to get a different kind of comparison between the console and the portable versions of this. And I have to say, I kind of wish that I'd gotten the console version, I think, at this point. Although I think the format does work really well for the portable, because it's one of those things you can play in small bursts. You know, you get something out of it, I think, without sitting down and devoting, you know, an hour or two to it. And it's fun, you know, but the touch you know, I basically am doing this with my thumbs, you know, to swipe the stars, and somehow I liked just doing the analog stick better. I think maybe just because I got used to it and all that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. I may just pick this up on console too. But I've been enjoying playing through it so far. Good songs. I might go into this a little more in depth at some point, but I will say that I feel like the first one had better modules. Some of these ones seem a little phoned in. I mean, they're not bad, but there was just some more quirky stuff on the first one. But definitely having a lot of fun with that. And next up, some anime. First thing I got here, I guess, is Dr. Slump, the movies. Now, interesting thing with this, because I've started watching them, and I'll talk about this in anime that I watched, but, you know, Dr. Slump, if any of you guys don't know, this is the first big thing by Akira Toriyama. This was serialized in Shonen Jump, you know, like Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z, and this was kind of his debut show, and or you know, manga, and it was you know, popular. It was popular enough to have an animated TV series. It was popular enough to have 5 movies that are on this, and it's you know, it's cool. I mostly got this because I'm like, oh man, they've never released any of this before, you know, here, and I wanted to support them bringing this out because I thought Dr. Slump seemed pretty cool. But watching this, I did remember, oh yeah, it's Akira Toriyama, and I don't dislike his stuff. I've watched pretty much all of Dragon Ball, pretty much all of Dragon Ball Z, minus like some of the Android Saga, and it's good, but I just, I don't own it, you know, it's not quite me, and so I think watching Dr. Slump, I was like, oh yeah, it's Akira Toriyama, and it's not quite me again, so, I don't know, I'll have my final verdict on that when I finish watching it. But the last few things here, so, I was just at Best Buy. These are, some holiday pickups, I guess, while I was out doing Christmas shopping. I didn't do a lot of Black Friday, you know, deals and all that stuff, but I was just sitting, I was in the store, and I was like, what? No. I saw this, and I'm like, this can't be what I think it is. Now, this is a live-action movie based on Kite, the anime, OAV, and there might have been a TV series, I sort of forget. Anyway, so this was what I thought it was. This is a live-action Hollywood version of Kite. Now, I say version loosely, I think. You know, I'm pretty sure I checked out some reviews on Amazon because I'm like, this can't be good. And it doesn't sound good. It sounds like probably what Hollywood would do if they got a hold of Kite and made it into a Hollywood movie. But, I thought about this long and hard. Let me just show you the other 2 things that I got here to go along with it. This is Kite, the original OAV, and Kite Liberation. Now, as far as I know, this is probably a cut version of this, and these are just things that I saw back in the day. I don't even really know if I saw Liberator, sorry, or not. But I definitely saw Kite and Mezzoforte, and I don't know if I saw the whole TV series for that. But this is stuff by, I'll have to look up his name. I've talked about him before. He was the one that did Wizard Barristers, which I still need to finish watching. And this is just one of those things. It's, oh boy, it's pretty depressing. And, you know, it's edgy. It's really, like, it's basically about this girl who is, it's kind of like if you took The Professional, you know, with Leon and whatever Natalie Portman's character was in that, if she were basically being sexually abused by Leon and she was the one who was doing the assassination. That's kind of like what Kite is. And it's, you know, it's one of those things that I think, I think there's something to it besides just being like, kind of, I think there's more to it than just the shock value of it. possibly one of the reasons, why it could be turned into a Hollywood movie. But, it's one of those things that I'm kind of like, I haven't seen it in a long time, and I was like, do I really want to own this again? I kind of wanted to see it again, and I definitely liked it and thought it was intriguing back when I saw it originally. So I picked these up after thinking long and hard, mostly because if I'm not the audience for this, no one is. I'm talking about sort of all of these together. This has to be some sort of weird labor of love, or just wanting to take advantage of people that watched this back in the day. I don't know what that is, but I'm one of those people. So I couldn't not get these. And whether this is censored or not, I think, censored, cut, I would rather have a version of this in my collection that I could, conceivably, show to somebody and, feel like it was pulling its punches a little bit more. If I watch this and I really feel like the artistic integrity of this has been, significantly damaged by any cuts they may or may not have made to this, then I will, I'll find the, uncut special edition, and I'll just buy it. This is 47 minutes, rated 16 and older. And I think same thing with this one. This is 16 and older, 58 minutes. So anyway, I interested to have that back in my collection. I may wait to watch those until I'm, feel like I'm not dealing with any sort of, overly much with anxiety issues, and I'm, feeling well enough to tackle something kind of heavy like that. But definitely glad to have that, and that was an amazingly surprising thing. So keep an eye on my Anime I Watched videos. I'll talk about that movie if it's any good. And the last thing I got here, this is anime as well, is Appleseed Alpha. Now, this was another thing I just got a holiday deal on. This was super cheap. This was like $10, and it was buy one get two free for like this and a whole bunch of other stuff on the shelf. And honestly, all the other stuff was crummy, so I picked up two versions. So what I want to do, I guess, in addition, I'm just going to go whole hog in this YouTube channel promotion thing. To go with my Q&A, when you do your comment in the comment section and you ask me a question, or even if you don't want to ask me a question, you just want to enter this contest, I'm going to do a contest. So put Appleseed, all one word, just Appleseed, into your comment somewhere. I mean, it doesn't. You can put other stuff in the comment, but just put Appleseed in there somewhere. And I'll just search through all the comments that have Appleseed in them, and I will enter you into a contest. And when I do my answers to my Q&A, I'll also let you know who won this, and I'll PM you guys and get your address and send out a copy of this to you. I wanted to do this, it's on Blu-ray. I wanted to do this before I watch it and actually give my opinion on it, because who knows, it might suck. But essentially, this is, obviously the Masamune Shirow manga series that has had, multiple different incarnations in like animated version. There was an original animated. Oh, man, I just watched it not that long ago, and I still forget if it was a movie or OAVs. And there have been several more ones that are CG. This one is all CG, and one of my friends watched it, and he really liked it. He said it's it looks really like real sort of modern day 3D CG, and I guess the beginning is kind of better than how it turned out in the end, but he said it was good, and he thought I would like it, so there's that. Very, very cool, and you guys can win yourself a new copy of that. So please go ahead and ask me questions. Feel free to enter this contest. I don't want anybody to feel guilty about putting Appleseed in their comment or anything. Just please do that, and I'll get that sent out to you guys when somebody wins. So that's all. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again for more anime and video game related videos.